Do I have a fuzzy too?
Yeah.
Oh, we are fuzzy buddies.
We're back in beautiful Sin City with Juju. Is that how you say your name?
No English, senor.
Juju, do we have permission to record you and post this interview online?
Only if I looked pretty.
So that's a yes?
Am I pretty?
Yes.
Are you lying?
No.
Okay.
All right, Juju, you're very interesting. What's your ethnic
I'm
makeup?
not interested. I'm just kidding.
What's your ethnicity?
I'm not sure. They told me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 100% Lebanese, born and raised. My mother and father are first cousins, unfortunately.
Are you Muslim?
Yes, Muslim
Okay.
Shia.
Only what, 5%, 10% is Shia?
What about them?
Is that like, isn't it 90%
I'm not sure
Sunni?
the percentage ratio.
I know back in the day it was like 5%.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so I have a lot of questions for you.
Yipperdoodle.
All right, so let's start from the beginning, Juju. Where were you born?
I wasn't. I'm just kidding. I was born in, I believe, 1986. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, 1986. Don't mind me. I'm just nervous.
That's okay.
I was born in Lebanon.
Okay, so you're 36. You're born in Jub, Lebanon.
No, Janoub. That
Janoub.
means South Lebanon.
Hey, I know how to pronounce it. I know Arabic.
Okay.
All right, so where were you raised most of your life?
I was in Lebanon till I was 8.
Okay.
Raised by my grandmother. God bless her. She passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can hear the
She's in a
Arabic
better
accent.
place now. Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't never tell, but people always say that.
Yeah.
So I came to America when I was 8. Came to California in 1994, and been in Vegas for about maybe 5-6 years now.
And you're currently homeless. What drugs are you struggling with?
What drugs? What drugs? What are you talking about? Do we have to disclose information?
It's just
Okay.
It's a recovery
Unfortunately,
channel.
I've been
Yeah.
battling with addiction
Yeah.
since I want to say I was living back home at my mother's.
Yeah.
Went from, prescription medication because my mother thought something was wrong with me, and there wasn't then until something became wrong with me, addiction. Okay, so she put in my head that the something was wrong with me, so I kept trying different medications till I found which ones make me high. Whichever ones made me high, made me happy, made me want to do whatever she wants me to do to please her, which is nothing, because there's nothing that can please a miserable, Muslim oppressed lady, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, which is why I left my house. One weekend I didn't come home, till Monday, and only to come and find out my mother locked me out of the house and went off to the Middle East for about 3-4 months. Okay, and not knowing that at the time, my friend put me up in a motel, okay, week after week, and so until he got into debt, and unfortunately, I didn't want to be on the streets over there, so I had thought I met a decent Egyptian, piece of trash of a human being, and I didn't know he was going to end up being a heroin, abusive junkie, whatever you name it, you call it, that's the motherfucker. Okay, he brought me here, and from the first day I got here to Vegas, we lived in Summerlin. On a daily basis, okay, I didn't eat every day, but I sure got a beating every day. He'd want me to shoot him up with heroin, and if I wouldn't hit a vein, he'd beat the fuck out of me till I got him in the vein. And he would think that I'd purposely miss or purposely can't find a vein because I don't want him to get high, which is psychotic, really, So at the end of the day, I couldn't get away from him if I wanted to. I tried, We lived in a condo, community, across from Red Rock, a bunch of, people with their nose up in the air. And of course, it got so bad to where people were calling the cops, and then he would end up telling the neighbors that he caught me. Can we say cuss words? I'm not sure.
Try not to, but go ahead.
He caught me fucking a beep, that's what he told the white folks over there, which then they looked at me sideways. Me not knowing this at the time was wondering why they all looked at me all weird, from then that day on. Of course, he couldn't tell them he was beating the fuck out of me, because I didn't and couldn't shoot him up with heroin correctly. So I was saying, the neighbors, would hear screaming or yelling because I'm like, can't breathe, he's choking me to death or whatever the fuck he was, Okay, he was basically the devil, I want to say. Okay. They say fear no man but the man that does not fear God. Then he's capable of doing anything, and that's that motherfucker right there. Okay?
Got it.
So I never in a million years thought, he told me come to Vegas, fresh start, yada yada yada. I only came because it was the only outlet really, aside from continuing to put my friend in debt in California, which wouldn't have worked out because I didn't know she was going to be gone almost 4 months at that time. Until it was said and done. At the end of the day, I only came to Vegas to really get out of there because I didn't want to keep putting my friend, into debt, like I said, and also because the Egyptian, pathetic excuse of a human being didn't seem so bad. He didn't put hands on me. He didn't, he had me shoot him up, every day, but it wasn't bad like that. I didn't know when we got here that's all it was going to be, That and going into people's unlocked cars until he got caught up, went to prison for it, came back out only to get back into a bait car, and he's back in prison again for that.
What was your grades like in school?
I was fairly, 3.5. Given the result of my life now, obviously you can't say I'm too smart, but at the time, I thought I was going to be a psychologist or a lawyer, and I told my mom I ended up seeing a psychologist and hiring a lawyer, so same thing, close enough.
Okay, you were raised by your mother. Was she a strict mother?
She wasn't, but my oldest sister was basically the say-so in the household.
Yeah. Your older sister was the say-so. Okay. You still talk to her now?
No, I don't talk to that bitch.
All right. Now you grew up a pretty privileged life, right?
For most people, I would say yes and no.
Okay. So, what is your family view? What's their view on addiction?
Well, put it this way: the family I'm from, half of them are about putting your business out there, and half of them are about not letting anybody know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my mother was the type that she claimed she didn't know what to do when she found out I was talking to my ex-husband over the phone, behind their back, that she involved everybody in the family. Everybody took a turn beating the shit out of me, all of them, and then she sent me off to the Middle East. That's how she dealt with it.
At what age?
I was like almost graduating high school.
And she sent you to the Middle East?
For a vacation, for a very fun vacation. I'm not even being sarcastic.
What part of the Middle East?
Where I'm from, Tibnin, South Lebanon.
Back to Tibnin, and then
to live with my grandma, who raised me, who I loved to death more than my mother.
So you're Americanized here. You're Americanized here. When you went back, did they tell you how to dress and?
No, my dad would try to have an adult-like conversation that showed he gave a fuck. It was like a speech he's reading off of paper. He has no clue how to be a father, nor was he ever a father to me.
Yeah.
It was just something he had to do because he was told by his mother, my grandma.
You got good grades, and by the way, you're very smart. You don't have, I've known people with extremely high IQs that were multimillionaires that lost everything because of addiction. Don't say you're not smart. Obviously, with 3.5 GPA, you're very smart. Okay, you graduated high school. What'd you do after that?
I went back to the Middle East to marry the love of my life at the time. I arranged it myself, for myself.
Wait, you arranged the marriage?
Yes.
It's usually the parents. Okay, how does that work out?
I wanted to get out of the house so bad that I picked my mate in Lebanon when I was on vacation, and he was on vacation, and had somebody related to me hook us up, and we met in the forest, like in secret, because you can't just go on a date over there, obviously. So, truth be told, that's what happened. We hit it off, and we went back. He went to Michigan, and I went to California, and we kept talking over long distance for 4 years. So I met him at 14. We got married at 18.
Okay. And then did your parents meet his parents and all that?
Yes, that happened only though after my family discovered I was talking to him, called up his family, told them, made a huge fucking deal about the whole thing. Like I said, everyone took a turn beating the shit out of me, sent me off to the Middle East, only to come back like 6 months later, miss a semester of school on top of that. Okay. And because of that, it had me go to a school that was for all the fucked up kids, basically, excuse my French, okay? All the kids with the lowest GPA and that skipped school all year long. That's the school I got sent to.
Continuation school.
Because of the fact that she made me skip a semester by sending me off to the Middle East for an early vacation.
Yeah. So did you ever live in Detroit? I gotta ask that.
Yeah, I lived in Dearborn, Michigan.
How did I know that? I just have a feeling. Okay. What was Dearborn, Michigan like?
It's not like anything else I can compare it to.
It's just a lot.
Not even the Middle East.
A lot of Arabic people there.
Yeah. A lot of Middle Easters.
A lot of great food. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Why'd you go there?
He was from Michigan.
Okay.
So after I went to Lebanon, we met up. We got married. It's like the pre-engagement party type thing until you have the actual big wedding, which we never had because his parents wanted it to be in a mosque, and that wasn't going to happen. I'm not going to cover from the day of my wedding. You know what I mean?
They wanted you covered?
They wanted me to cover.
Okay.
The first thing his mother sent to me was, "You got to wear long sleeve." That was the first sentence out of her mouth.
And you're against that?
No, I'm not against that. I used to cover once upon a time. I covered for 3 years because I wanted to, but I took it off because I wanted to.
Okay.
If I'm not doing it because of God, I'm not going to do it because of your parents. I want to say when I got divorced was around the time I just stopped being with any sign of religion.
Okay. What was the reason for the divorce?
His family gave him an ultimatum: divorce her or we divorce you. And he couldn't go a day without seeing his family. It got him, physically sick because he wasn't exactly 100% healthy. He had issues with his kidneys, first of all.
Yeah.
So all that stress caused him to lose his very good job he had.
Yeah.
And that was the main financial, provider for the household. And on top of that, it got his health at risk, his job no more. Everything was falling apart pretty bad. He couldn't live without them, and I was not gonna keep him to myself, especially when he's falling apart, because he can't. I would never give him an ultimatum like that, so I don't know why they did. That tells me they don't give a shit about their son.
Yeah.
So in the end, we ended up getting a divorce, and he ended up going back to the Middle East and getting married to a woman that's a priest's daughter, in translation you would say, after knowing her a week, just because his parents wanted him to. And she covered everything but her eyes, I guess.
Yeah.
How come you're asking me about the culture when you know it so well?
Since you're my first Middle Eastern / Muslim guest, I thought that by sharing your unique story and being so transparent might inspire others,
Hopefully.
particularly those from Middle Eastern backgrounds or, Islamic backgrounds that are struggling. The parents of those that are struggling, they might understand it better, because I do have a lot of people from different backgrounds watching this. It could help someone else. And addiction touches everybody. Look, it's touched you, it's touched me. We're from similar backgrounds,
Mm-hmm. Addiction has no race, has no gender, has no...
Yeah. All right, what's your views on America, your adopted country?
I would say it is a land of opportunity, but it's also a land of corruption.
Okay, explain.
If I were to sit back and think, if I had stayed in the Middle East, how would my life be like right now? And if I had came over here, which I did, how my life would be like. And let's just say that I think had I been over there, I probably wouldn't be here right now having this documentary at all. I don't think I would have went down the paths that I went on over here.
Over there, you can't really be an addict.
Exactly.
There's no choice there. Yeah, one or the other.
But everything happens for a reason.
Okay, so what would happen if someone became an addict over there to them?
I don't even know, but it wouldn't be good.
It wouldn't be good.
Put it this way, if somebody was an addict, they would not be able to confide in anybody or tell anybody because they would lock them up in a mental ward, I swear to God, or put them in jail, crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Instead of helping them, there's no such thing as help. Closed-minded, weird shit that you wouldn't want anybody.
In Lebanon?
Yeah, I would assume somebody talking about they're on drugs, they're gonna put them and strap them down in a straitjacket. That's all I can see happening.
All right. What if you're gay in Lebanon?
I don't think a Muslim guy or girl who's gay would really be out there at all to let anybody know.
Yeah. So did you know anyone that was gay or?
Because I haven't lived there in this day and age. I've only gone on vacation, and the last time I went was 2009.
Oh, okay.
But from what I'm understanding, it's still not like America all open.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna be gay, you better stay in the closet, buddy. Because you get out that closet, you may not make it out alive.
All right. So you obviously didn't do drugs when you were younger. When's the first time you experimented with drugs?
I honestly wasn't the type that thought about that or hung out with people that did it.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I started doing that late in my life. Because, like I said, my mother wanted me to go see a therapist and a doctor and to see what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
When what she thought was wrong with me was because I wanted to go out past, sun going down. Or I wanted to have friends and, do the normal American things or normal everyday things people do in life, She has this, it's not even a religion thing, that she has this extremist thing about her. It's not even the religion says, because the religion doesn't say anything about me not being able to go out a certain time or a certain day, especially if I've been married, divorced, and, I'm no longer a virgin. You're not going to protect me from anything. I'm an adult, but she doesn't want to treat me like I'm an adult. Therefore, she wants to tell me something's wrong with me. I took her to see the therapist, and the therapist said, don't ever bring her in my office again.
Were you diagnosed with anything when you were younger?
Put it this way, you go in front of a doctor nowadays, it's so sad, but you can make them and convince them that you're bipolar, you're not bipolar, you have ADHD, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would basically look up a medication and, go and recite them whatever they want to hear so I can get that medication, and it worked very well. That's horrible, how easily you can get certain pills, and, I'm being honest, that's what I did.
So you started off with pain pills?
At first, nothing was fixing, I didn't know what was wrong with me to fix it. First of all, that's what fucked me up from the beginning. So then I started to mix medications to feel some kind of joy or some kind of, accomplishment of whatever. I didn't even know what I was trying to accomplish, put it this way.
Yeah.
So she fucked me up in the head to where I started, mixing pills together and getting some kind of euphoria out of it. And before you know it, I'm abusing pills, which then little bit As time goes by, met a certain ex of mine who said, oh, meth is just like Adderall. When my doctor cut me off my Adderall prescription, which was for ADHD, okay, which I had 50-50, which means I got prescribed Adderall for off-label use for depression. Okay? I was getting high off of that. I have nothing else. Okay? So one day I go to IHOP. I take my Adderall as usual. I take the Xanax as usual with it, which is an upper downer, not so good. Took an ecstasy on top of that. Got woken up paralyzed in IHOP and was paralyzed with muscle damage. For a year. I couldn't walk.
Wow.
No joke. So when I went back to the doctor to get my script the next month, doctor cut me off completely.
Okay.
That's what I call the beginning of the end.
That's
when I started with the street drugs.
Got it.
You know, my ex said, oh, meth is, crystal meth is just like Adderall. No, it's not. It's its ugly, evil cousin.
Due to getting on the drugs, that also led you to, have you ever been to jail?
Yes.
Okay. It's because of the drugs, right?
Yes. I mean, I would much rather not disclose much of that. But yeah, I mean, you get caught with anything from a piece of foil to a straw to whatever.
Yeah. Have you ever worked as a prostitute out here in Vegas or anywhere? No?
No.
You're against that?
Yes, I'm against that.
Have you been propositioned? Obviously.
Of course.
Yeah. So then how do you survive out here?
Honestly, it's not easy at all. I do a mix of things, from having to ask, some friends for money, which is not really the best feeling in the world to have to ask people, when you're used to giving people, and or from flying a sign to helping somebody do their, flowers in their backyard or carry their, groceries to their car. There's a million different ways you can hustle here in Vegas.
Middle Eastern, I know another female in California that she's Persian, and she does the same thing. She goes to different homes and does yard work, but she lives on the streets and she refuses to do any of that stuff. All right. So, do you talk to any of your family or none of them? No cousins. Why is that?
I've reached out to my mom a couple times, and she never really cared to. For example, if she took my number, she never called me. And I've, switched so many numbers from losing a phone to somebody stealing it. So if you're not going to try to keep, in touch with me, why am I going to try to keep in touch with you? Especially when she tells me the next time I'm going to hear from you, it's going to be somebody calling to tell me they found your body in a dumpster. Come on now.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. How about anyone else? Your dad or your cousin?
Dad doesn't exist. He's in Lebanon with his whore. I don't know.
Okay. I know your community is very tight knit, and they help each other. So no one's coming out looking for you or trying to help you out.
No, like I said, my mom, that's the nice thing she says to me is the next time, and she tells me, when you decide to want to get off the streets and clean up, you can come home. I said, yeah, come home to what, prison cell? She's not going to treat me any differently.
But
if I went over there 100% clean, okay, maybe a year clean, it would make no difference. As soon as I get there, she's going to make me feel this small, I will start using again. That's how weak I am around her, because she's such a bitter, evil lady.
But you are welcome if you wanted to go back home.
Yes, on terms that I can't have any friends, I can't have a phone, I can't have a car, I can't have a life. What is the point of that? I can't live like that. Can you?
Has it always been like that, or just because
she has trust issues? Get over them. I'm 36 years old.
Yeah. Have you ever been to rehab, Juju?
It's a rehab that somebody stuck me in. To say my ex's mother, she stuck him in like a very, very fancy rehab. At the same time, stuck me in the opposite of that, called West Care, the worst place you can go. Jail is better than that place, okay? And given that I didn't choose the place that I went to, it was a setup for failure, because I was out of there the second or third day I was there. It was all just like the homeless people you see around that want to sleep for a couple of days. They'd go there, just for fun and get out. They don't even let you, cut the line to get Tylenol if you're throwing up, and they don't clean up the throw up. It's a terrible place to get sober. It's a bad experience. Okay, other than that, that basically made me never want to think about another rehab facility again.
Who sent you there?
Like I said, my ex's mother.
Okay.
Put him in a very nice, from what I come to find out after it was all said and done, he made it to sober living. Yeah. The junkie that brought me here to Vegas that I was telling you about, he made it to sober living. He was in like a place where they had chefs, they cooked them what they want, because his mother was a millionaire. And she specifically put me in a shitty ass place made for me to fail on purpose.
You know what though? To be honest, I've heard about West Care and crossroads, and I've heard both sides. Some say it's great.
No,
some
the West
don't.
Care I went to, there was
Yeah.
nothing to help you. I was throwing up for a few days when I got there,
Yeah.
okay, and they could give me nothing, do nothing for me to help me feel better. That's not how you're not supposed to throw up next to your bed and still find it there the day after tomorrow. Come on now.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do for you while I'm here? Can I call your mom or your
Call
family?
my mom for what? No,
No?
you can't change my mom. I can't
Yeah.
change my mom. You know, I gotta change myself, but that's just myself. And it's not like if I could give you the phone and you can call her and make her care or give a fuck. Sure, I'd give you the phone, but that's not gonna do anything. It's like having people try to get pity for me from my own mother. It's pathetic.
You have any children?
No,
Okay.
I do not bring a child into this world. The way that I'm living, I don't think so.
How long do you see yourself doing this?
I mean, I pray every day to God, whether it be, you know, I don't pray 5 times a day like I'm supposed to, but I pray, you know, that God save me from what I'm doing to myself. I just see myself diminishing day after day.
Do you have a boyfriend out here?
No.
No. Do you have anyone that's sober that you talk to? Or
Maybe 1 or 2 people, if that.
and they live here or somewhere else?
Yeah, in Vegas.
They do, and they are sober?
1 is here and 1 is in California, yeah.
Oh, okay. Where would you like to see yourself in a couple years?
Hopefully doing a complete turnaround.
Okay. Do you know the steps to take?
Yes, but am I gonna get up and do them? Probably not.
What are the steps that you can take?
I mean, you gotta change your ways. You gotta change what you're doing. Everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, I gotta do the complete opposite of. You know, and knowing what to do and doing what you're supposed to do are 2 different things. You know better, you do better. It's not always the, you know, case. You know, some people say you just whenever you get sick and tired, you'll know, or you know, whenever. There's no right time that you're gonna be ready for rehab. There's no right, ready, nothing. You just gotta do it. You know, for you to wait for yourself to be ready, there's no such thing.
You think you've hit rock bottom?
I'm beneath that.
You're beneath rock bottom.
I'm so past that point that I got no drive, no willpower, no nothing to even, like, me getting on this camera and putting on just a couple things of makeup. I haven't put anything on my face, and I'm a makeup artist in like 3 years. This is the first time I actually took enough energy and power. It drained me just thinking about having to do this. It was a 5-minute, you know, cover up and mascara, and it was like the most stressful thing in my life right now. It's been 3-4 years.
You have a phone, right? Mm-hmm. You get YouTube?
Yes.
When your video goes up, read the comments, okay? Mm-hmm. You're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna give you great advice and also provide support. That could be maybe a rehab, specifically designed for, you know, women of your background. There are those rehabs, you know. In Michigan, I know they have a couple of those rehabs. Or in, I think there's one in Florida too. What is your email address? Hold on, do that again. The email is for people to contact you for help.
Want me to spell it out?
Yeah. Already. Okay. Juju, do you have like an email?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
It's JINANALIH86@gmail.com.
Okay. Is that linked to your Facebook?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I mean, if someone wanted to find you, do you have a Facebook?
Yeah. I'm saying you can look me up with that email.
With that email. Okay. And do you have Instagram?
Yes.
Well, how do you find you on Instagram?
I believe that the Gmail that goes for the Instagram is JUJUBON86@gmail.
Okay. And then do you have friends out here that are also from here?
I don't have any friends.
Okay. Okay.
Acquaintances, I got plenty of them.
Friends, do you trust anybody out here?
My motto is DTA, don't trust anybody.
Don't trust anybody? What would you say to a young person wanted to experiment with drugs?
Don't do it.
Why is that?
It'll be the beginning at the end of you. It's taking nobody nowhere good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing good can come of it. What, you know what I mean? Worst mistake I've ever made. I mean, need I go on?
What led you astray?
Lack of love in my shitty family.
Okay.
Lack of affection, lack of self-worth or confidence or all that.
How about your siblings? How they turn out?
I mean, my oldest sister has always had to stick up her ass, and she's the reason me and my mom have the relationship that we have. Okay. Anything I wanted to do, whether it be shave my legs, because kids would make fun of me at school, wasn't allowed to do it. So basically, she was just a fucking bitch.
Why weren't you allowed to shave your legs?
She's just a bitch. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not something against my religion, so I don't know.
Were you allowed to wear makeup?
No, not if I didn't do it behind their back.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to do a lot of things behind their back, which is fucked up.
Do you have any cherished memories in childhood?
Yeah, back in Lebanon with my grandmother.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, my grandmother means the world to me.
What was so great about Lebanon?
I mean, aside from, the war always being a problem, I mean, Lebanon's beautiful,
Yeah.
It's just, from the weather to the people, it's just almost like you can't describe it. You'd have to go to understand what I'm talking about. It's different than anywhere I've been. And I've been to a few places,
Heard great things about Lebanon. The Paris of the Middle East back in the day.
Yeah, it's a shame that, every time they, bomb it, they have to start from scratch again. It's, it's pretty discouraging and sad to see people's homes destroyed and demolished, I mean, how many times can somebody, bomb your house and trash it to the ground, and you have to start from scratch, and you can't even afford to do it, you know what I mean? Back to halfway up again and it's down again. That's really, that's like almost like you want to give up.
So what are your favorite foods?
I don't think I have a favorite food.
Let me ask you this. To an American that wants to experiment with Lebanese food, what would you suggest?
It all depends on what you like, but, me being not such a meat eater, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, if one was to, love their meat, then I would say shawarma is a good choice, Also kebab, which is like chicken skewers, lamb or beef skewers. Those are very good. They're marinated, with vegetables, on
You're making me
the
hungry.
grill. Yeah,
let's get some Middle Eastern food after this. Is there a good place around in Vegas?
Honestly, I should ask you that. I have only been to a couple.
Okay.
There's
one place right behind you is the Stratosphere, okay? Mm-hmm. There's a place over there, right down there close to the Circus where they serve Middle Eastern / Indian / Pakistani food.
I think, is it near like Walgreens and Ross?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've been there. It's decent.
Yeah. I like it. It's my favorite place. You want to go have some food there?
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Let's go get some,
okay.
All right, you're making me hungry, but let me ask you some fun. Do you have an embarrassing moment?
What do you mean?
What's your most embarrassing moment?
I don't know.
You don't have one?
I was born getting on this camera. Very embarrassing.
Do you have a secret you can share?
I'm a real boy. No.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Yes, I want to say it's tiramisu.
Tiramisu. If there's a time machine and you can go back to any date in history, what would it be and why?
It would be the day that I decided to go downhill. I would not.
What day was that? Do you remember? I remember my day, but do you remember your day?
Not ever so specifically. I don't think it was just a specific day.
Yeah.
I just think it was just kind of giving up on trying to be accepted and just decided to just rebel to the point where I ruined myself in the process.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Not caring about what people think is okay to a certain extent until you realize you're ruining yourself, destroying yourself,
Have you ever tried NA?
Put it this way, I don't believe in any of these things where they become like a group or a cult.
Yeah.
I believe that when you go to a rehab, you become in this routine, just like jail. It becomes like this what is it called? This, what's that word when somebody's confined to something that becomes routine for somebody that's an inmate? What's that word they use?
Oh, hold on.
When you're institutionalized, okay?
Institutionalized,
okay.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I can go to a rehab for a whole year, be doing just great, come back to the regular neighborhood I'm from, and I can't be around the people that I used to, be doing what I do with. You gotta be in real life, meaning the rehab is not the greatest place to be for a long time, because then you can come back out and still relapse the first day you come out, because you're not used to being around regular people. You're used to, having meetings all day long and everything's so, programmed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to be able to live real life around real people and be able to say no, Not have a meeting every 5 or 2 hours, you know what I mean? That's gonna keep you from doing anything. And the fact that you're able to go out and get drugs and don't would mean you're strong and, you're doing great. But when you're somewhere where you can't go out and get, of course you're not gonna, because you can't.
What's your favorite color?
Pink and black.
Why?
Because I like bubblegum and cotton candy.
What animal are you?
A cat.
Why is that?
Because I have kitty paws on my titty paws.
You have What does your family think about your tattoos?
They don't think about my tattoos.
They don't know about them. They don't know
about them.
They do?
Yeah.
You're what a rebel.
Put it this way, I'm worse than a black sheep. I'm a cheap black sheep. I don't know.
Rainy or sunny?
Sunny.
Morning or night?
Night.
On time or late?
Always late.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
I like dinner.
First thing you do when you wake up?
Drugs?
Are you a romantic person?
Yes.
What's the most romantic thing you ever did for anybody?
I'd rather not say.
Okay.
Too personal.
If you could have lunch with anybody, anytime in history, who would it be? Think about it.
In history?
Yeah.
It has to be like a...
Take your time, anybody.
Can I pick my grandma?
Yeah, go ahead.
Back when she was younger.
Why,
You know?
why your grandma?
Because I love that woman to death, and I admire her and everything about her, and I want to see what she was like at my age or something.
Was she
like
liberal or conservative?
that. I'm not sure too much about what all that means in the Middle East, because given our government is nothing like here, I don't know too much about that.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's a song you don't get sick of?
The Weeknd songs, all of them.
What's a Weekend song?
The Weeknd is an artist. He's an
The
R&B
Weeknd.
singer.
They're
Yeah.
amazing. He's
Any
amazing.
of his songs, I just don't get sick of them.
I don't know if it's a he or they.
It's a he.
Okay, just
Yeah.
one person. I know it, but is it just one person? or
Yeah,
is it a
one
band?
R&B singer from Canada.
Oh, just one R&B singer.
Yeah. My future husband, he just doesn't know it yet. I'm just kidding.
What's one thing you want people to know about you, Juju?
That I wish I can get clean, not so much just for myself, but to be a great example for all the, not just Middle Eastern, females out there, but all the addicts out there.
Yeah.
Because if I can do it, I honestly think anybody can do it. That's how, far from getting it done I am, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. What's your message to them if they see this? Your mom, anybody?
You have a daughter that's still alive out here that might need your help or your support.
How can they help you if they wanted to help you?
Do what a family's supposed to do.
If there's someone else that cares about you, that wants to help you, what can they do for you? What do you need right now?
Support, love, attention, affection.
What about housing? What if someone wanted
Of course,
Okay.
that's a given.
That's the number one thing, right?
I wouldn't say number one, because if I wanted just housing, I would go back to California and there's a housing. But that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like literally just a roof over my head, but it's an insane asylum at the end of the day.
But do you think that if you got clean and they saw that?
It doesn't matter. I would not be clean for long when I get there.
Okay.
Her treatment towards me will make me relapse overnight. I swear to God.
Have you had counseling or anything?
I told you
tried
a little
all
bit
that?
ago. I told you I said the counselor said I don't want to see her in my office
No, I mean,
ever
but
again.
after that, did you get counseling for
For who?
just?
It was clear that she needs counseling herself before we can
Okay,
see a
I
counselor together.
Yeah.
Because all she does is talk negatively about me for the whole entire hour and then some.
Okay.
So somebody that only can see the negative in me can't possibly make me or help me in any way at that point. When somebody's constantly beating you down and shoving negative things, down your throat and in your head, how are you going to get any positive anything out of anything? Misery needs company.
But you still love your family.
You know what I mean? I mean, whatever love means, I guess, sure. Put it this way, I love them just as much as they love me.
Okay. All right, Juju. Thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it, and I wish the best for you.
Thank you.
You have my contact information.
Yes.
And we'll be in touch.
I'll have my people call your people.
All right, sweetie. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.